Hello, everyday leaders. Tonight is, I don't know what night it is. I think it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's January 19th. And I am Melahni Ake from the Everyday Leaders platform. And tonight I am so excited. The last time I came on, we had Tim Sure with Sure Success, and he was talking about this live summit that he's doing this next weekend, January 23rd and 24th, with all these amazing legends. It's his second one that he's done through COVID. And I'm telling you, if you still haven't signed up for that, go to the last live. And I think he still has Save 100. You get $100 off. And it's going to be an amazing 2-day virtual event. So if you're not too zoomed out, go sign up for that and go back and watch that and look at it. And so tonight, I am so excited. Now, I was going to kick the day off with doing our wheel for why, WHY, hashtag WHY, that I have been telling people, like, you got to sign up for this class. You got to register. It's a $250 value that I'm giving away. Every single live that I do, if you type in hashtag why, you can be entered to win the drawing. So it includes a why assessment, finding your why, discovering your why, and then you get to come to the why workshop to find out how to live your why, putting your why, how, and what statement together. So it's amazing. Anyway, I am super excited to now be certified with the Why Institute, and it's just one of those things that's on my heart to help people discover their purpose. And on this journey, I have run into amazing people. And so I met Mr. Alfredo Torres just last week from LinkedIn. Now, I love the LinkedIn platform because I'm connected to thousands and thousands of people that, you're like, oh, I've seen their name somewhere, and it's been on LinkedIn. Intentionally, we hooked up, not physically.
No.
And oh my gosh, we laughed for way too long. Hey, Diane, great to see you. Diane Dick in the house. And so listen, Alfredo has an amazing journey and an amazing story to share with us. He used to be a DJ, first of all, so I love him, and a podcaster. So that was only the beginning. But what he does for veterans, this is an amazing story, guys. So if you're just tuning in, if you don't know Alfredo, stick around because this is really great stuff. We will have a station break and we will do the spinning wheel. Because that's what I was told to do from the professional DJ.
Yeah, come on. I don't know. Can I start talking now? Or
you know what? Yes, everybody's on here. Bernard, do you know Bernard? Or
I don't know who I know. I don't know who I. Hello, Bernard.
Yeah.
I have no idea, and I decided I'm not going to tell my story. I was sitting here, and you're just like, oh, that's no. I'm just gonna no.
Wait a minute. You grew up in my favorite place. Everybody knows this that knows me. Brooklyn, right? You're in New York.
No, I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx.
So it's us.
The Bronx. Oh my God. What are you?
Okay. My producer is yelling at me now. No, the Bronx, New York.
To the South Bronx.
You're not there anymore.
No, of course not. No. Okay. Do you want me to start telling my story now? How does this work?
You're in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah, that's where I live now. What's going on? Are we doing this thing? Hello?
Hello, McFly.
Hello?
Yes, Alfredo. So, yeah, man, take it away.
Oh, okay. So, I don't know what to say. I was born in the South Bronx. Well, actually, no, I was born in a hospital that was in the Bronx, and I grew up there back in the 70s. Oh, wonderful to meet you, Diane. I grew up there in the 70s and the 80s. If you want to know what it's like, go watch any dystopian movie, where everything's run down and that kind of stuff. In my neighborhood, three families made it out. Mine and two other families. Everybody else I grew up with is either dead, in jail, or drug addicts. I went to college, Siena College, Albany, New York. Go Saints. Finished there, moved down to Florida, hung around Fort Lauderdale for 2 years, got married, joined the Navy. Did 13 years in the Navy. Now I'm giving you the sanitized version because I figure as we talk, I'm going to go into a lot of the struggles I've had throughout my life. But joined the Navy, did 13 years in the Navy, was diagnosed as diabetic. Navy said, have a nice day. And that was in 2005. And from 2005 until today, that's when the ride got real wild.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I work for the Virginia Department of Veteran Services. I help people, I help transitioning service members, veterans, and their spouses connect to education, entrepreneurial, or employment opportunities. But as you've labeled me already, I approach my job as the quintessential New Yorker. I'm the guy who knows a guy.
Yes, that's right. I love that. Right?
Yeah, it's because I'm a resource provider. So you got something you wanna, you come to me, and it's like, hey, Alfredo, I need this. It's like, oh, okay, let me get you over there. Now, that's it in a nutshell. I can really go into the tragedy of my life, but I figured not right now. We can bring that up as it needs to go because I want to keep it light. I want people to enjoy this interaction. And the last thing I want is people to go, oh my God, you're so inspiring. Oh my God, you're so tragic. How did you make it? Oh yeah. Stop it.
The most interesting thing I think that we talked about last week was that you met the person that you're living with and you committed to move in together a week before the country and the world shut down.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. We've known each other for years. And then she lived in Kentucky and I'm here in Virginia, not in Brooklyn. And not in the Bronx, not in New York. Dave, what's going on? Oh my God. See, Dave, I didn't even tell the story. And Dave's like, oh my God, that's so inspiring.
Nice to see you, Dave.
Jeez. I'm done. No. So about 3 years ago, we came back into each other's lives and we were doing the long distance thing, which is great. And then after 3 years, we're like, all right, come on. Hey, what's up, Laura? I'm gonna keep interrupting myself so I can say hi to everybody. And after 3 years, we decided, okay, let's move in together. You're like, okay, yeah, and we're thinking she's gonna have a job, I'm gonna have a job, we'll see each other. We're not. She moves up, boom, COVID. Nobody can go anywhere, lockdown. I'm high risk because I'm over 50. I know it doesn't look that way. A lot of people think I color my beard to look older, but no, this is natural. And I'm diabetic, so it was automatic lockdown. It was okay. We're stuck together 24/7. And it's and it's been great. We don't fight. We don't argue. We get up. She goes to the other side of the apartment where she does her little Poshmark thing because she sells stuff on Poshmark. I'm right here in my bedroom. And this is right here. This is all part of my bedroom. And then we get together for lunch. It's like a lunch date in the living room. We'll meet. And then we go our separate ways again. And then at the end of the day, we'll get together for a dinner date in the living room. And we'll watch like Rick and Morty, or we'll watch Bob's Burgers or something like that. And or wrestling, which is, remember I told you we're doing this on Tuesday because I wasn't going to do it Monday or Wednesday because of wrestling.
That's right. You got to keep it separated, right?
You got to. I have that album somewhere behind me.
What I think is interesting about this is so many people that we hear about are like, hey, I've lived with my spouse for eons. COVID threw him over the edge. There are so many divorce attorneys out here, like they are cashing it in, and realtors that are like, people are moving because they're getting rid of everything in their life that they don't want anymore. And so
including people.
Or downsizing, right?
Including people.
Crazy. So I love your story because it's like, hey, there was no other choice, and it's actually working because you just said, hey, this is going to be great.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let me tell you why it works. Because we actually understand each other. And when we got together It was to get together with the person who we are, not the person I wish she was, not the person she wishes I was. It wasn't, man, you're going to be awesome if you lose 15 pounds and you stop eating pistachios and no, it was like, okay, I'm going to take you as is, and that's it. We wake up in the morning. It's like, hey, look, you think I'm, you can see the bed kind of half made because I was taking a nap beforehand. Um, but we make the bed together in the morning. We go, we do our stuff. Again, she goes to the other side of the room, so it's like she might as well be in Kentucky again. I mean, the other side of the apartment. Then we meet for lunch. It's great because like I'm in our office, and I go and I have a lunch date with her.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very silly, as you can tell. I love to joke. I love to make people laugh. So that's the other thing is I sit there and I make her laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, what's up, Mary?
Hey, Mary. Good
Woo-hoo!
to see you.
Woo-hoo!
So, Alfredo, this is really good stuff, though, because so many people are like, yeah, but you just don't understand. That person gets under my skin. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Well, then why are you with them?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay, yeah, that's where you have to sit there and real. Why did you get together with that person?
Mm-hmm.
And if you fell out of love, you fell out of love. It happens. I've fallen out of love, I don't know, 16, 17 times. But it happens. But the thing is, did you get with that person because you thought that they could be something else? Or did you get with that person because you were really in love with them?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, and there's so many things that are happening, that are going to change. And who knows how much longer this is going to really be. It's going in waves. And so just like everything else in our life that happens. And I really want you to dig back deep because you've got some amazing things that you've overcome. And so, people can say, yeah, I'm happy in my life now. And I've always been this guy that knows the guy and helps everybody, but you had to have perspective on that. And you had to become that through your life.
Yeah, I had to because of and this is why I didn't tell it at the beginning because I knew we would come back to it. I've had a tragic life. Yesterday, Monday, the 11th was the 34th anniversary of my mother passing away. She passed away 3 weeks after I left for college. 2 months later, my father was murdered. And I had to mop up his blood after I broke into my apartment because the doors were locked and I had to come back down from Albany. And it was either I clean up the blood or my 18-year-old pregnant sister cleans up the blood, which I wasn't going to let her do. When I moved out of college, I moved down to Fort Lauderdale because my brother was the only one I could move in with. Joined the Navy, then I get married, and I shouldn't have. It was my high school sweetheart, but this is what I talk about when you drift away, and her and I drifted away, and we never should have gotten back together. However, we did. She decided to leave me on my first deployment in the Navy, and I always tell people, and military people who understand this, that you haven't realized the depth of your ability to hold back till you reach into your closet to grab your dress blues uniform and your wife tells you those aren't yours. Anybody who's been in the military automatically knows what that means. So get married again. Eventually I get over that. Again, she left me when I was on deployment, when I was on a submarine. We had a couple of incidents where we almost didn't come back. And I come back to living in the barracks. I move on, meet another woman, get married, have 2 beautiful children, get stationed down in Norfolk. She's living in Maryland, which is where I was stationed before. I'm what they call a geographic bachelor. Hello, Heather. And I'm what they call a geographic bachelor. And then what happens to me is she decides that she's gonna leave me, but does it when I'm in Norfolk. Takes the kids with her all the way across country. I was being forced out of the Navy at that time because of my my diabetes. I didn't know everything that was out there that could help. This even in 2005, there wasn't the sea of goodwill that we have today, but there was still a lot of stuff out there to help us. I didn't get any of it. Mm-hmm. And so between 2005 and 2012, between 2005 2012, and it's funny because I'm on the radio at this time. And I'm successful, about as successful as you could be on the radio when you're not making money. I had fans. I could walk into any bar down in Hampton Roads and drink all night. I had women who actually liked me. Of course, it was because I was, a radio personality. It was because of these handsome, good looks that I have.
Because if you close your eyes right now, like I told you when I first talked to you, it's Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, right? Well, that Wolfman Jack Daniels, because that's what gave me the raspy voice. I told you that.
I love it though, because you just put people at ease. It's something about your voice that you say, "Hey, I can trust this guy. He's fun. He's going to be energetic, and he's going to take me on this journey." So because you're the guy.
It's funny when you say that my voice is fun, because if I turn on the after midnight voice, then that could be a whole different vibe, if you get it. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. So during that time, when people are looking at me and they're having a good time and they're partying with me in bars, I wanted to kill myself twice. I went to do it. And grace of God, I didn't. Nobody knew at the time. 4 times I almost ended up homeless. By the grace of God, again, somebody taking me in. Twice I lost everything. I lost everything when I got divorced the second time, where my ex didn't let me know that she was going to divorce me. Mm. So as we're packing up the goods, and she's like, I'm going to need some extra money until you come up and this and that. And I'm pawning all this stuff to just give her the money. I'm not going to need this anymore. I'm not going to be doing that. All the stuff is gone. The stuff that I pawned while I was all but living in the streets. My father, who again was murdered, the only thing I had of him from him was a gold ring with his initials, and I'm named after him. I had to pawn that to pay the child support from a woman who abandoned me for the most part. Anyway, so I got fired from radio twice, two different stations. And what you'll realize when you're in radio is that it doesn't matter about your ratings. You can get fired for any reason, such as they're flipping formats, or you call the owner of the station a cheap effing B.
Okay, so it's out there. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Oh no, that's why I said effing. I didn't say the word, right? I mean, that I could say
station identification.
Right. And at that time, they came out the post 9/11 GI Bill, which I qualified for because I didn't have the regular GI Bill. Went back to college, went to Old Dominion University, got a bachelor's, got a master's, and I started to turn my life around.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And
that's awesome. And here's the thing. You did it for you.
Oh, I had no choice. It was, I had to do it for me. The bottom line for me was that, and I think I told you this, when I said that I was suicidal, I said, you know what? I have a right to do this. If out of the 6 billion people in the world, I can convince myself that I am one of the top 10 worst off. And if I am, I'm going to do it. But if I'm not, there are people who would literally kill to be in my shoes.
Mhm.
And in the Navy, I traveled the world and I saw people in conditions that I wouldn't put my ex-wives in. And I don't like them. so, um, there's no way there are people who are struggling to live my life. And would give anything to live my life. Who am I to give it up like it's not worth anything?
Mhm.
So that was the motivation behind me staying alive. And
What would you tell people right now? Because there's so much going on, Alfredo, with COVID, and I know everybody probably knows someone that knows someone. When you're the
sure,
guy that knows the guy, that we're so connected now through technology. Uh, People that have lost someone, or people that are still struggling, right? And when you say, "Are there 10 people worse than me?" And if there are, so how did you kind of negotiate? Like, what was that for
my
you?
personal, for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
it was the realization. Well, it started when I went to kill myself. I was getting into a fight with my ex-wife, and I just told her, you know what, tell the kids I love them, and I hung up. And she tried to call me back. I didn't answer. At that point, I got in my dress uniform, still fit at the time, and I got into my truck and I got ready to drive to a place where I was gonna just wrap up the tailpipe, let the car run, listen to music, and go to sleep. I always said that if I was going to do it, I wasn't going to make it. I was going to make it the least amount of inconvenience for everybody else. I wasn't going to blow my head off or slit my wrist and have blood all over the place. And my ex-wife had called my sister, and my sister's. You think my life was rough, and my sister's. Hers was twice as bad. She's my personal hero. And she called me up, and I'll never forget it. She said, you know what? I'm not even mad that you're going to do it. I'm mad that you didn't call me to say goodbye.
Mm.
And I told her I wasn't going to do it. Truth was, I was still planning. But then I was listening to a song by the Lemonheads called It's a Shame About Ray. And there's this one line in there that says, if I make it through today. And I just kept hitting that line on repeat. If I make it through today, if I make it through today, if I make it through today. I had a brother, God rest his soul, because he's passed on. He was in Narcotics Anonymous. And I used to go to meetings with him all the time, support. And then their mantra of just one day, just for today, and every 12-step program has that mantra, something to the effect of just for today, just, one day at a time, whatever it is. And that became my mantra. If I make it through today, if I make it, I can make it through. I don't think about the long term because it becomes overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, you know what? Let me make it through these 5 minutes. And my life hasn't fallen apart in these last 5 minutes. So let me give it another 5. It was like when I used to run, when we had to run. I can't run 3 miles. Well, now I really can't because, but back then I couldn't run 3 miles. So what would I do? I'm going to run to the end of the block. I'm going to run to the hydrant. I'm going to run to the big tree. And little by little. And so the first thing I tell people before anything else is take a deep breath. I said, come on. And I breathe with them. Okay. So that they can get the bad air out and the good air in.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it really depends on their situation. I think we talked about it. No one's situation is worse than somebody's else to them.
Right.
Their situation is the worst at that time, and you have to validate that, even if you think it's dumb. It's not dumb to them. Their pain is not dumb to them. Their pain is every bit as real as anybody else's pain. And so you have to acknowledge that, and you have to understand that, you know what, okay, things are things are rough, but you know what, let's just get past these next couple minutes. And then you again, some people just need to get it all out and they'll ramble and ramble, and some people will just ask questions, and you got to be honest with them. And
Didn't you tell me the story about the paper cut and the bullet?
yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
say that, because that was really powerful, and I wrote that down, and I've been journaling about it since you told me that.
Really?
It's just a great metaphor, right?
Okay, so a person who has a paper cut feels pain, and a person who has a bullet wound feels pain. You need to acknowledge the pain of both, because while to the outside person, the pain is obvious. You know who would be in pain is pretty obvious. You would think the bullet wound, but you don't know what other factors go into there. And even the person who with the paper cut might realize that the bullet wound is a bigger would cause more pain, but that doesn't lessen the pain they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to acknowledge that. And then once you acknowledge that, you have to think about time. If I had a bullet wound from 5 years ago, you see the scar, but obviously it doesn't hurt anymore. You just got the paper cut. Well, who's in more pain at that moment? You are.
Right.
And for me to say, suck it up, man, I just got shot. You know, no, that's that you can't disregard somebody else's pain because you think your pain was more, even if it was. You have to acknowledge their pain, their suffering, because to them, it's every bit as much as what you felt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it keeps lighting up on Dave saying, "Oh my God, you're so inspiring." Stop it, Dave.
No, but that's true, because we always think like, we're so selfish. We're human nature, right? We're so selfish.
Sure.
Like you don't understand, my pain is worse than yours. You've not been through this. You haven't worn my shoes. Oh my gosh, if you just understood what I was going through. And then you hear stories like yours. Everybody has their own journey. And so when you talk about your sister, that you sat there and cleaned up something for her, to help her, and she's
Sure.
pregnant. And now she says, I'm just upset because you weren't going to call and say goodbye. Right.
Sure. And this is a woman, real quick. My sister was 20 years old with 2 children, homeless, because she had to leave an abusive marriage. We're from the Bronx. She's in Texas with 2 kids, homeless, living in the street. And today she works on Wall Street.
Good for you, sister. What's her name?
Her name's Madeline.
Madeline. Good for you.
And she'll be the first one to tell you. She goes, I never prostituted myself and I never used drugs. And she was able to overcome that. So when she called me, and this is something I realized after I kind of got my thoughts together, she was acknowledging my pain. Mm-hmm. When she said, I don't even blame you for wanting to do it. She was acknowledging my pain. And then saying, but you weren't even going to call me to say goodbye. And like I said, my sister's my hero, and she's always been my hero. So,
wow. That's incredible. So many people, right, that we know in our lives. And so I think, when you're going through something like that, you either get to the point where you say, what was I thinking? Or you really just try to get through it, or you don't, right? There's no going back. You can't fix it.
Well, to me, I never say, what was I thinking? Because that would be blowing off the pain that I felt, and I can't blow that pain off. That pain was real. Uh, now, mind you, I suffer from PTSD and depression, anxiety, blah, blah, all the rest of that. Um, but that pain is real.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, but that helps you what you do now,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Being able to really have that empathy for other people to say, "Look, I understand what you're going through, trying to transition through anything," and seeing, like, what people have gone through first, and then what they're hoping and their dreams are to still accomplish. Because people that are just civilians, I'll use that term, right, that are non-military, that don't know what that transition is like. A lot of people talk about that. So can you kind of paint a picture for us like that, the difficulty and the mindset to kind of move from right one mindset to the other and to try to be successful in it?
have you ever seen the Shawshank Redemption?
Mhm.
Okay, who's the guy at the beginning, the old man who gets out, then he hangs himself?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the military. There's no difference between that prisoner and somebody in the military because we've been institutionalized. Okay, um, anywhere from 4 years to 30 plus for some people. They've been told when to eat, when to sleep, where to be, how to dress, how to acknowledge your superiors, what you can and cannot say, how to brush your teeth, everything. And then they go out into a world where their entire identity has been stripped away. Think about it for a senior enlisted person or an officer who literally has been um, given a place to park based on their rank.
Mhm.
If you go to some of the exchanges or the commissaries where you see, this spot is for an E9, or this spot is for an O5 and above. And now they're common people. Now they're like everybody else.
Mhm.
You
So
know, that's a culture shock.
it is, and so developing yourself as leaders inside, right? How important that is to say, gosh, if you have the tools to be able to equip yourself to know that no matter what rank you have, we talk about this so much. It's really not about a position, it's about
Nobody
how you
cares.
feel about yourself, right?
Right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're a colonel. Nobody cares if you're a master sergeant. And that's the way I tell them. And a lot of them get offended at that, you know. Um, but there, and I keep seeing Dave's name, and Dave's name is very significant right now.
Yeah.
Dave, as this, if you look at his name, it says Skillbridge Champion,
Mhm.
and Skillbridge is an incredible program, which the Department of Defense offers, which can give you, the military member, a glimpse into what civilian life is like. And it's an important, extremely important program that people need to really take. Transitioning service members really need to take advantage of. Um, but again, you're stripping somebody. To go back, you're stripping somebody of their identity.
Mhm.
And you're telling them now that, okay, yeah, that whoop-de-doo, you're a colonel. All right, so can you do this? You know, uh, and it's rough. It's rough.
Mhm. It is because sometimes, right, your families have been separated, maybe, and and it's for maybe for many months or many years, and now you're out of the military and you're trying to adjust to what common people would just accept as, right, entertainment, things that
Well,
you've seen, like you said, disturbing things, and being in that mindset that you have to report, you have to do this, you have to get up, you have to eat this, and you're on such a structured environment, and now to say you have all that freedom where
well,
you've been the one that is responsible for America's freedom, and now you're coming back and saying, now you get to have really, release of whatever you wanna do, and so that's really difficult to kind of find that space of, well, I can follow orders, right? I can follow orders, and that's a great trait. And
It
so
doesn't, but it doesn't even get that far. Think of it this way, okay? And I'm going to use you and myself. Let's say you and I were married, okay?
wouldn't that
And
be fun?
that would, yeah. Let's see how long you laugh after being with me for 8 hours. But let's say we were married, right? And I kept a schedule like I did when I was on submarines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in a week, out 3 weeks, in 2 weeks, out for a month, in for a month, out for 8 months, right? Well, you as my spouse are home. Let's say you even got a job. You're the one there who has to take care of everything because I'm not around.
Right.
Right? If we have children, you're the one raising them, and you're the one who's dealing with them when they're sick, and you're the one who's got to go to the parent-teacher conference while you're still trying to. You just got back from work, and you're paying the bills. Now I retire. Right? We don't even have to go that far. Now I did a year deployment where I was away for 12 months, and I come back. Well, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I want to establish myself as part of that household. Meanwhile, I'm getting more in your way than anything else. So that's where the conflict begins. And then just about that time when you've had enough, now I go back out to sea. And you're like, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And now I retire. It's that dynamic of me wanting to make myself part of this relationship, and you want to be part of this relationship, but by the same token, you got your system.
Right.
You know, you do laundry on Sundays, and here I come, and I throw in something in there. You're like, what are you doing? I'm just washing these pair of. You messed up my schedule. I do laundry on Sunday. Okay, well, you can do it tomorrow. No, I can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I've got this, and of course, I don't understand what the big deal is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the conflict starts to come in between you and I. What's the big deal? Well, if you were home for the last 20 years, then maybe you know what the big deal is. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm sorry. Jeez.
It's such a sacrifice, right?
It's a sacrifice for everybody.
So what's the solution, though, Alfredo? What's the solution?
The solution, if it was that easy, I'd be making a bunch of money. I couldn't. I'm trying not to curse because I'd be making a lot of money. What's the solution? The solution is being honest with each other. Communication. First of all, communication is the solution to everything. It's the first step. Is communication. It's honesty. It's thinking as to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And do you really want to work? Do you really want to make it work? Again, and if you don't want to make it work, be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot, right? When you're raising a family and you have that separation, and right, thinking about if you had military families right now that are in COVID and having to kind of learn each other again. And so that could that accelerates or it destroys. And so it's really, really important. And, strategies. So tell me about, when you get a family and they've come back and you're saying, great, let's transition you into a career. What are the steps that you take them through first and to kind of assess, the capabilities, I guess, or the capacity of things that they may want to step into?
Well, number one, I don't deal with the family as a whole. I could deal with one or the other, but I don't. That's for trained counselors. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that I say is, have you spoken to your spouse? Or one of the first things I say is whatever you do, you need to consult your spouse. You need to sit down and take them into account, because they've been playing sidekick for 20 years. They've been following you around, and they've been putting their career on the back burner, and so on and so forth. So you need whatever you decide, it has to be with your spouse in mind. So you talk about then there are other things then the other big thing that I discuss with them is money. How important is money? And when I say that, I'm not talking about, are you greedy? I gotta make six figures. Why do you have to make six figures? Did you just buy a house? Do you have 3 kids in college? Did your ex-wife ruin your credit? And put you in debt? Are you getting divorced?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been married 10 years? Because then your spouse is entitled to half of your retirement. Okay? So you have to take all of that into account. And if money is important, then you kind of have to look for where you're going to make the most amount of money. But if it's not important, then don't chase the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Go be happy. Whatever happiness means to you. Okay? For a lot of people, it's a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. They turn the phone off at 5 o'clock. Nobody bothers them. They're not in charge of anybody. They don't lead anybody. They don't want to. For a lot of people, it's continuing the mess. It's continuing the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means to them. And you got to chase. At that point, if money is not the overarching issue, then chase your passion, whatever it is. For me, it's doing this. It's helping people avoid what I've gone through. I could make more money than I make doing this, but my job satisfaction is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I go to hello LinkedIn user. That's all it says. I'm sorry, and thank you for saying that. But I can make more money, but why?
Mm-hmm.
But why? I help people every day. Every day I help people. Every day I put somebody on a path that's going to be that can hopefully lead them to happiness and to finding a purpose. And it's not only about giving back as a job. Okay, because I had a conversation with somebody today who wants to give back. Well, financially, he can't afford a job like this, but he can volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And how much time do you have to get? Oh, well, I see you all the time on LinkedIn, and I see you do that. That's part of my job.
Right.
If I had another job, I wouldn't be on LinkedIn all day. And half the people I talk to on LinkedIn, first thing I say is, okay, here's my email address. Email me there, because this is now work, and I have to log it in, and I have to do all my stuff so I can keep my job. Okay. But if you can't do all that, give an hour a week, 2 hours a week, remember whatever you can. And remember, rope your spouse in, let them know, because now that's an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours or whatever you do that you're now taking away from them. And you might not think it's a big deal, but they just waited 20 years to have you back. It might be a big deal to them.
It's so important. Man, you're a wise man.
No, I'm not. I told you, I'm not wise. I am not inspirational. I am me. My story is my story. I told you that. It's not better. It's not worse. It's not anything special. For me to call it all that, I will have to live somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did. I've only lived my life. Now, if people can find inspiration in my words, in my actions, in my deeds, and in the stuff that I've gone through, that I've survived, then okay, that's great. I'm glad that you could take some, but I'm not going to ever say it. I'm not going to say that I'm an inspiration. That's To who?
It's
I'm
real.
not I'm not an inspiration to somebody who's lived a life worse than me. You
It's
know?
it's for that person that says, "I almost did that," or "I can't make it," or "It's not worth it," or "You know what? I never really thought about thinking about somebody else first besides myself." That's your story, you know?
Yeah, and if you can, and again, if you can find an inspiration in that, then please take it. But I am not going to say it. I'm not selling that story. Um, because again, that's making the assumption that um that I'm worse off than you and I've overcome something. You know, I'll tell you something, and this is kind of where I developed this philosophy, and this might offend some people, and if it does, I'm sorry. Um, Not really, but
Bleep,
I am.
bleep, 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 bleep.
No, it's not. It's not bleeping. But people will talk about the Kennedys,
Mhm,
right, and how tragic that family is because of this happened and that happened and this one died and that one died, and I'm like, so what? Because you're talking about a span of 50 years where all of that happened.
mhm,
I lost I lost 4 people in the span of 9 months,
mhm.
including both my birth parents.
Right.
You know, I've lost if you count my parents and 3 of my brothers who've passed away, I lost them in 12 years.
Mhm. It's right, it's personal versus celebrity, right? We think we
Right.
hold different people of stature, and just like what you said in the beginning, if you're in a position, in the military and you feel like you're institutionalized for all those years and you have a high position of authority and you
Sure.
transition out, it's like, how do you fit into the real world?
Yeah.
Because so many things that have happened when you're gone, and you can't really absorb it.
It's yeah, it's just again, my story is my story,
Mhm,
and I can't compare it to yours. I can't say it was better or worse than yours. But if you find something inspirational, then great. But when you talk about how do you absorb it, you remember the whole OJ trial?
oh, yeah.
Not the trial, the scene where they're going down in the
Racing around in
Bronco
the
and everything.
water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was out to sea on a submarine. So now, just real quick, so you understand what that means is I'm underwater, and then we go up to get message traffic, and the last thing on our message traffic after orders and all this kind of stuff is the news. Well, the guys back on shore, they like to screw with the boats that are out to sea, so they will put things that happen to mess with us.
Mhm.
So we're out to sea. We come up, we get message traffic, and all of a sudden, OJ Simpson is running away from the police because they said he killed his ex-wife. OJ Simpson. Like, are you kidding me? And we're laughing because we think it's a joke.
Mhm.
And it's another 2 months before we pull back in and find out, oh, they weren't playing. It really happened.
Wow.
So yeah, it's I don't know.
It's
It's just
kind of like living your life and then coming back and reading about everything else that's happened, and you say, "I kinda blinked and I missed it."
yeah. My,
Mhm.
my first my first brother passed away when I was out to sea. I didn't find out about it. Um uh I don't know, I think it was 2 months into the deployment, and it was another 4 months before I got home. By the time I got home, everybody had kind of moved on a little, and it was still fresh to me. You know,
Mhm.
when my first wife left me, I was out to sea for 77 days. I was underwater for 77 days. She left me on day 14, where she sent the note. Because of what we were doing, I didn't get that note till day 75.
Man. So, alright, so how did you
I
how did
heard.
how did you absorb that? Because listen, there's a lot of people that have just gone through these last 10 months, and same kinda scenario, they've been isolated against people that have,
Sure.
you know,
Their family, their loved
right?
ones.
I've had family that have passed away, and we haven't had closure. right? We haven't had been able to have closure. And so how do you deal with that? Like the PTSD, I get that's part of it though, the loss and the grief, and you have to figure out a way, right, that's right for you to transition through that.
Well, let me ask you, how are you getting through it?
It's tough.
But just for today, right?
Just for
Sometimes
today.
when, yeah, that's exactly how I get through it. I break it down. I just got to get through it today. And if it's too tough to get through it today, I just got to get through this next hour. And if that's too tough, I just got to get next to the 5 minutes. I break it down to whatever I need to break it down. I just have to get through this, whatever this is. Just like when I was jogging, I don't have to run 3 miles. I don't have to run 5 miles. I just got to make it to the corner. Yep. Just got to make it to the mailbox. Just got to make it to the hydrant. And then when I find out that I've made it and I still got something to spare, all right, let me make it to the next tree. Let me get through the next 5 minutes. You know, breathing, trying to calm myself as best I can, getting out the bad air, the bad energy, and getting in the good air and the good energy. So that's how you get through it. That's how you get through it. If we're being rational, we all know. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. Do you know Eric? You need to know Eric.
Okay. Well, how you doing, Eric? I guess we'll talk later, so as to not alienate everybody else. But where was I? When I look back at my life, anything that's happening to me right now, I've gone through worse. I literally have gone through worse. I survived that. How can I not survive this? Now, in the moment, again, when I got the paper cut and I'm feeling the pain, I'm not thinking about I survived through worse. Because the pain is fresh. It's right there, right? But if I make it past the next 5 minutes, if I make it past the next hour, at some point, my rational thought will come back. It will come back.
Absolutely.
And once it does, I realize paper cut. I got a scar from my shoulder to halfway down my belly. What am I worried about a paper cut? Okay, but I have to acknowledge that pain at that moment, because at that moment I've never felt any worse pain in my life at that moment. But once again, I like what Eric said. I've been through the past to prepare me for now, and that's exactly it. With everything that I've been through, I never thought I'd be 54, but to think that, I'm 54 now, and I just had one of the best years of my life. Now, mind you, too, I've had to, and this is another thing that people have to take into account, is I've had to reevaluate what happiness means to me.
Right.
When I was younger, I happiness was getting married and having the children in the house with the white picket fence, and then after I got divorced, happiness was living on the Sunset Strip, drinking booze and stuff,
Well, perspective changes based on your experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And now here I am at this point in my life where happiness is having this nice apartment with this wonderful woman I'm living with, collecting my records, smoking my cigars. I don't need a bottle of Jack to be happy anymore. I don't need the partner of the night to come in and out. I don't need any of that anymore. I don't need to be out at clubs 3 a.m. anymore. It's all perspective. But it's also the realization that the change happens.
The change happens. If you live long enough, right, you can really appreciate and look back and connect those dots of everything in your life that's really important. And so many lessons that you've taught us tonight, just understanding why you are doing what you're doing, right? This whole why purpose of, do I understand? Is it about money? Is it about, my happiness? Is it about what I'm trying to create? Is it I need to learn something new? Especially, your lessons about transition and what you do to help people it's just so relevant today because 50% of America has probably had to change, I would say, careers or change how they're doing their careers.
Sure.
At least 50% of America. And
Right.
so this is kind of a concept or a conversation that affects every single one of us. And so not about positional power, it's about leading yourself and being able to really think into, what is my life? What do I need it to look like? Right?
Well, you know, and the thing is, it's okay if you don't know. I I didn't know I wanted to do this. I didn't find my purpose till I was 50.
Exactly. Me either.
50. Think about that.
See, we're just babies.
Right. Well, we are just babies.
Yep.
And another thing is for the people who are listening, I want you to take that age, 50. And I want you to think about that age. If you're 25, 50 is old. It's old. But if you're 45, 50 ain't old, is it?
Nope.
Again, that perspective. Okay? It's looking at what people do and from different points in your life. When I think about my dad when he was 54, oh my God, he was the oldest guy in the world.
Right.
And here I am, 54. I look like the oldest guy with this beard. I'm not going to lie. But even with all of my ailments, I got more energy than people who are 30.
Mm-hmm.
I've got more zest for life. You know
why? Because you know why you're doing what you're doing,
sure.
And that peace of mind that you have because of it. And that is exactly, Eric, because you can vocalize it. And
yeah.
Yep, you always knew it. And so sometimes, right, we feel this inside of us. We feel this inside. And maybe the 2 times that you said, I'm not going to take those pills, I'm not going to do this, because you knew there was something deeper within you. It's like, I'm not done yet. I have got something to do. I've got some people that I really need to help. And a lot of, when people are struggling, it's because they haven't found that adding value to something in their life. And so I love you because I want to encourage people, the things that you've gone through. I know you say, yeah, it's not a big deal. And we all say that. However, you were put here on earth to inspire someone. It may be one person, maybe tonight, it may be tomorrow, maybe on a replay. It may have already happened. And that changes their perspective to say, I can do better.
I'm going to tell you real quick this story. Real quick. I don't tell quick stories because I yap forever. Is anybody else in the room besides Eric?
Yeah.
Eric's like, come on, you guys can chime in, please.
We got to spin the wheel too, so yeah.
Yeah, you got to spin the wheel. But again, you see, if we did it early, they all would have went away. Anyway, when I was on radio, people would call in and would request songs. And yeah, okay, whatever. And I chat with them. Well, I got off radio. And then I was on Facebook for a while, and Facebook got to be a little bit too dark. And with my mindset at the time, I went and I said, okay, you know what, everybody, I'm giving up Facebook. I'm done. And I had a lot of my listeners who were my friends on Facebook. Well, this girl got in contact with me, and she said, Alfredo, I'm going to miss you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. You don't know this, but you saved my life. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, well, I called in one day to make a request, and I wanted to hear that song, and then I was going to kill myself. And I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, and she said, but I didn't, because when you answered the phone, you heard something in my voice, and you talked to me for 20 minutes.
Mm.
And just talk to me. We didn't talk about anything. I didn't tell you that I was going to kill myself. You just talked to me like a person. And, obviously she thought that I was this, what we think about radio personalities. I'm this huge thing. And she didn't know the stuff I was going through. But I said, I'm so sorry. I don't remember that. And she said, it wasn't for you to remember. I didn't make a big point out of it. You just talked to me like a decent person. And she goes, then I got married and I got 3 kids now and my life is great. But I wanted to thank you for that. And I'm sorry to see you go from Facebook. That was the gist.
Wow.
But here I'm thinking my whole life, I haven't affected anybody. I haven't done anything to help anybody. And here was this girl who I very much touched. And I never would have known if I wasn't going to leave Facebook. Because she never would have reached out and told me. Mm-hmm. Had the same thing when I was doing my podcast. I told you I used to do a zombie podcast. Yes, it's how to survive a zombie attack if you're fat and disabled and just lazy. It really is what it was. And
I think we should start that up again.
Yeah, you know what? I could. I just it takes too much work. But it was the same thing. We were getting ready to get to do the show. Me and my co-host said, we want to say goodbye. Next week's our last show. Call in and say goodbye. And this guy called in. He went through a period where he was homeless. He was on heroin. He was trying to give it up. And he literally said, the only thing that kept me going was your show. Making me laugh, making me forget. He would download the show, and it used to come out on Tuesdays, and he'd say he would play it sometimes 4 times a day to keep him laughing and to keep him going. And of course, everything worked out, and he got better, and then life was good. And again, here you go, another story where if I wasn't getting ready to say goodbye, I never would have known how I affected this guy's life. So at the end of the day, I could say that I've affected 2 human beings' lives for the better, and I never would have known. So God knows how many other people I have, and this goes for everybody who's listening to this. Melahni, you have no idea whose lives you've affected. And even if you've affected 5 lives, there's 15 lives that you have no clue that you've affected. Eric, Dave, Laura, Mary, anybody else who's listening who hasn't bothered to say hello, LinkedIn user,
Diane.
Was it LinkedIn user was Diane?
Yeah, Diane. No, Diane was
Diane was right.
And
right.
But it's the ripple effect, right? It's the ripple effect because you then can pass that forward, and it is all about paying it forward. Sure. And so if we're strong, if like you said, like both of us say, we've had the best year of our lives. Year of our lives this last year. And if you can't say that, let's try to figure it out, right? Because right now you should be thriving. You should be thriving in your gifts because you've got time to really think about it and connect to people that are here to really help, right? There are lots of people that want to help you get stronger.
Sure. Yeah. If we bring this back to what I do with the transitioning service members, you hear the horror stories. The thing is now there are people who are here to help, and they're everywhere. Okay. All you have to do is reach out, and it's tough for us service members because we're prideful.
Right.
We're not gonna. No, I'm not reaching out. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna do that. I'm self-sufficient. I don't need anybody. Yeah, bull. We all need somebody. We're not isolated creatures. We were never meant to be alone and isolated. We're meant to interact. We're meant to help each other. That's our natural state, is to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But being in the military, you end up being a little bit too prideful. I'm not you're arrogant and prideful. I don't need help. And then when I need help, I'm not going to admit to needing help, and I'm not going to ask for it. And that's how you end up homeless.
So what you're saying is COVID probably like put us all through military training and we didn't even know it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, you talk to a guy who's underwater for 77 days at a time. I mean, this was nothing. It was at the 9-month mark when I was like, okay, I need to get outside.
Yeah. I need to open the window.
Yeah. I'm gonna step out to the porch. But it's, I feel like I'm rambling. I don't know. Tell me in the chat room, because Melahni's not going to be honest with me.
No, you know what? Here's the thing: every single person on here feels what you feel. They haven't had the experiences that you've had. However, we can all connect on this level of wanting to figure out what it is that we need to do better. How can we just do that 1% better? And I teach this all the time. And I don't know, Eric, you may have been the first one to talk to me about this too, because you're awesome. The 1% that you do, the focus on 1% better improvement in your life every day. So that 14 minutes every single day, right? You do that for 365 days. It gives you 37% greater return. Pretty easy math, even if you're not a math coach.
I'm not a math guy. I'm not a math guy. You just, the minute I was good with you when you said 14 minutes a day. I was like, okay, yeah. And then you're like, you do that for 365, and you carry the 7, and you take every other Tuesday off. And no, see,
you don't take every two. So do it for
14 minutes.
14 minutes every day for 1 year.
Tell me 14 minutes a day. Boom.
And wow, right? Okay, Eric, we'll spin the wheel. Yes, I know, Laura. He's not rambling. It's great. So, all right, I'm going to put the wheel up here. So for those of you that have been following this, since I'm now why certified, finding your why, discovering your why, people, if you are following this right now and you want to put your name in the drawing for next time, put hashtag why, put that anywhere you're watching, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, I don't care, wherever, if you're watching it now or on the replay, hashtag why. The next time I have a live, you will be on the wheel. So here's the wheel. And here's who we have from the
Eric wants to spin the wheel. He's not even on the wheel.
He's not on the wheel yet. You got to put hashtag why in the comment section here. And the next time we're live, you will be on the wheel for the drawing. So
that was Eric's way of saying I was rambling.
Got to follow the instructions. Oh, there you go. Eric, you'll be on the wheel next time. All right. So now what I need you to do, Alfredo, I need you to do a big countdown for me in your radio voice.
All right, we're going to have Melahni spin the wheel here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin that wheel!
Ooh, party! I love these.
Let it go round and round. And who won?
Chuck Parker!
That's cool. I like that.
Parker. Isn't that awesome?
Wait. Chuck said he put my name on the wheel. Wow.
That is awesome. All right. So Chuck Parker, thank you. You are our winner. I'm going to type it in here in the comments.
Yes.
And that's awesome. He actually he's been in some of my classes before for leadership. So I'm so excited that Chuck Parker won. I can't wait to tell him. He's going to be just...
I think it's gonna be. I think your life is going to change when you find your why. It really will. I found my why. I think I was 3 years old the first time I found it and realized it, and it was a wonderful discovery for me. You don't get that, do you?
I do.
You're just looking at me like, oh God.
No, I get it.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's kind of like Steve Martin, right? What is your special purpose? Well, really. So, Alfredo, so I'm going to tell you real quick about this because this is really cool. In the Why Institute, there are 9 whys. There are contribute, trust, make sense, find a better way, and then share it. Do things the right way, systematic, right? Order, instructions. Think differently and challenge the status quo. Mastery, clarify, and that's supposed to say simplify, but simply. and, and so,
Simplified the word.
yeah, exactly. I simplified the word. So okay. So you know me. What do you think my why is? What would you say what my why is from all those?
Contribute.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought. Because I show up and I do that and I contribute.
Right.
So I took the assessment and I wasn't shocked, but I was surprised because my why is to challenge the status quo. So I look back and think, when you didn't fit in and you didn't feel like it mattered or you were judged or you felt insignificant and like, why is this so hard? It's because everything that I was doing in my life, I was challenging the situation and I made someone else feel threatened unknowingly, or I was always pushing the limit for better, get better, do better, push, 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 push. And so that's my why. My why is challenge the status quo. How I do that is because I want to push everything to be better. And then what I bring is to contribute. So it started to make sense to me going, okay, I'm showing up to contribute. I get it. But I thought that was why I operated. And when I realized that I really discovered that my why is to push and challenge, it made me a better clarifying statement to be a coach because that's why my clients are successful because I push, 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 right? The
That
ones
makes
that want to
sense.
be pushed, the ones that want to be pushed, the
Right.
ones that don't, they don't fit me.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I think about this platform that you use, and it is challenging the status quo because you're asking people, you know, what me asked, what makes me a leader, and I don't even see myself as a leader, but by telling people, obviously, I've connected to some of the people here through their comments. So yeah, I guess I am leading, and I guess you're challenging the status quo because you had me on here, and a lot of people aren't doing what I do. I don't.
No, but that's the thing, right? When you find what you love to do, what you're driven to do, and that's why I say, when I loved your story that you were in broadcasting and podcasting and all this stuff that was connected to my heart, I said, oh my gosh, I want to challenge you to kind of bring this story to life because there's so many other things that, those were gifts. You have gifts and then you have to step into those. And so now you're using that piece of communication to be able to help, to be able to serve in a greater purpose now for military veterans. And so that's what I love celebrating. That's my way to contribute is to celebrate people and challenge you to know why you are a leader in the world. Because you are. You're amazing.
Stop. You're going to stop it.
Yes, you are amazing. You are amazing.
I
And
appreciate that.
I can't wait to come and find you, wherever you are in Brooklyn or the Bronx or Commonwealth of Virginia.
Richmond. I'm in the Richmond area.
I know you are.
If you find yourself in Richmond, just hit me up. I know it is the best hot dog place in Richmond.
Where's that?
It's a place called City Dogs. It's down. It's not too far away from the Capitol. They have two locations. That's the one that I go to, and delicious.
Okay. It's a date. It's a date. I'll definitely be there.
Awesome.
You're awesome. Hey, Alfredo, how can people that are just watching that, like Eric's never met you before, so find you on LinkedIn, right?
Find me on LinkedIn. I'm the Alfredo Torres with 800 initials after me because I'm a certified career coach, certified resume writer, certified federal resume writer, blah 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 blah. It's a whole lot. But just follow me and understand that. I don't know what Heather's saying is awesome. I hope is
City Dogs, maybe.
Oh, City Dogs. Heather, you talk about City Dogs? Because if you are, yes, it is awesome. And what you're going to find is when you connect with me, I don't care why you think you're connecting with me. we're going to do a deeper dive at first. And the first thing we're going to find out is what's going on. Because, yep, she's talking about city dogs. Yeah. Yes, they're awesome. Anyway, but what we're going to do is we're going to see where your situation is. Because we can't get you a job if you're about to be homeless. We can't get, you're going to feel pressure. I was just talking.
Here's Eric. Here we go, right?
I'm not getting into politics, Eric. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not
taking a politically free show. We're not, even though it's red, white, and blue. We're not going there.
But today I was talking. Today I got to catch up with somebody. I spoke to her on Thursday, and no, I spoke to her on Friday, and all I could hear was panic in her voice. It's like, I need a job. I need a job. I was like, no, you know what you need to do? You need to walk away from this for the weekend. And she's like, no, I need a job. I said, no, because right now your mindset isn't ready to look for a job because you're panicking. And if you're panicking, you can't concentrate. And if you can't concentrate, you're wasting time.
Right. If
you sit down for an hour to, let's say, work on a resume, and you spent 45 minutes, I don't know what to write. Then what you spent 15 minutes working on your resume, and you wasted 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Better for you to get up, go walk the dog, go jog, go sit down and watch Rick and Morty. Go do something to get your mind off it, to relax, to reset your brain so that you can come back in and hit it up fresh. So this girl, she took the weekend off. She had Monday off. She took the long weekend. Spoke to her today. I could hear it in her voice. She was ready. And that's when you look at whatever you have to do, you have to be in the right frame of mind, because otherwise it becomes a very ugly circle where you get frustrated, and because you're frustrated, you're wasting time, and because you're wasting time, you're frustrated, and then you're wasting more time, and then you're looking up, and now you get even more frustrated, and then you start to yell at people, and then you start to kick the dog, and you're throwing the kids out to the street, right. You know what? If you start to get frustrated, you give it a good 10, 15 minutes. If you can't get past it, put everything down, go walk away for a little bit.
Amen. It's at 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes.
Next 5 minutes. That's your motto, right?
Right. Let me just get past the next 5 minutes. Let me go to the bathroom, and it's amazing. Let me go take a shower. Sometimes that's it. I already took a shower this morning. All right, but you know what? Let me take a shower now. Mm-hmm. I'm pissed off. I feel good shower. Watch all the stress go down the drain. Metaphorically. Boom.
That's right. That's when it happens. That's right. It's creating the energy, because you have to change that mindset. And so many people just get stuck and they feel trapped. And so that's why you're on tonight, because you give people hope.
Because people are trapped.
You can do it. Yes, people are trapped.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. You can go to City Dogs, which is outside of the DC wall. All right, Eric? It's in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm not being paid for this advertisement. They're delicious. Ask Heather.
That's my favorite. I'm going to drive over there like as soon as I can and get one. I'm calling you.
They not only do they have hot dogs, but they have different types of hot dogs based on what kind of dog you want. Like for me, I'm a New Yorker. So I'm a big fan of Sabret's hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
So so they have a hot dog called the New Yorker or the Manhattan or whatever it is, and it's a Sabret hot dog, which is different from Hebrew National, which they might have for another different hot dog, which it's just awesome. God!
For everybody gets one. It's your choice.
Mhm.
Oh, Eric, stop it. We're not even going there. Yes, the wall will be expanding in our stomachs.
That's fine. It's not expanding to Richmond. I'm getting my city dog.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Alfredo,
Uh-huh.
you're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're really fun. I can't wait to just follow this and see how people are following you and just continue to be connected to your journey, because I know when we were posting this originally that we were coming on tonight, so many people were popping up here that I hadn't heard from in a long time saying, "Oh my gosh, this is really fantastic to just talk about this topic and know how important it is, especially for people to get their mind reset and um, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
You're really helping. You help me, so you help one person tonight. Really
Oh,
believe, right? To believe that there's purpose in everything that we do.
there is, and sometimes you got to get through the tough times. Um, and again, just make it past these next 5 minutes. My brother, again, the one who passed away, who's in NA, Narcotics Anonymous. He used to say, when people had to go Jones or whatever, when leaving in the middle of a meeting, he said, "Don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens."
Mm.
And so my take is a little bit, not as drug centered, but don't, just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens, because it comes out of the blue. It comes anywhere. It comes from anybody. Be nice, smile. That's the big. I always tell people, anybody who's ever been to any of my classes, most important thing for you to do is smile.
Yeah.
It inspires people. It puts people at ease. It makes people smile back.
And you can't think of bad things when you're smiling, right? It can take a little bit of the stress off and think, okay, now I've got to really think into why am I smiling? That's right.
3 feet short of gold. Oh, that's digging, right? That's if you're digging and you quit because you thought you didn't dig deep enough. Meanwhile, you were 3 feet short of gold.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the same thing, except that I don't dig because that's a physical activity. And
yeah, but you're the guy that knows the guy, so you can get it done no matter what.
I am, yeah. So if you need somebody to dig for you, contact me, and I'll connect you with some veterans who have their own shovels. Don't ask why. Just be happy.
Why? Just go find your why and go live it.
Yes.
Go live it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Alfredo, thank you so much. If you haven't seen Alfredo, if you don't know him, find him on LinkedIn. If you haven't been on LinkedIn following us tonight. And again, type #why and you can get into the next drawing, because everybody needs to find your why. Find your why and live your why. If you need help, if you're a veteran, if you're transitioning, find Alfredo. Connect to him. You're going to have a better life when you do it.
I know somebody.
You know somebody. You'll take care of
it. I'll hook you up.
I'll hook you up. Alfredo, thank you so much for sharing, for coming. Please come back anytime.
I'll be. You know what? I'm free Thursday.
Okay.
we can get together. We can get together Thursday.
You know what? Bring me a dog.
Yeah. Whenever you want, just reach out. Let me know.
We should have a panel for the veterans. We should do something like that. We'll create something with you and Mary, and let's find some people together, and we'll do a little panel.
You had Dave on earlier. I don't know if Dave's still on. He's a big champion of Skill Bridge. Laura, who's on right now, I know. I think it was we got connected on LinkedIn. She's going to be hopefully being able to do a Skill Bridge program.
Wonderful.
There's plenty of people out there. While I concentrate on Virginia, that doesn't mean I'm not going to help you. If you live in California or if you live in Iowa, I can connect you to services there, to people there, to help you achieve whatever your transition goals are.
That's awesome. You're the guy. You're the guy. We need to get t-shirts and hats. I'm the guy.
I'm the guy who knows the guy.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm not the guy. I'm just the guy who knows the guy.
I'm the guy that knows the guy.
Exactly.
Oh, Alfredo, thank you. Have a great night. I'm going to let you go, and we will be back soon. We will definitely be back soon with you. So thank you for all you do. Have a great week and enjoy your wrestling tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to enjoy my wrestling. I'm going to have a great week. I'm going to smile, and I'm going to keep living life, happy as best I can.
You do it. You make all of us smile.
And thank you for having me. This has really been fun.
This has been awesome. You're coming back. You're not going far. We're going to sign off for tonight. You are coming back. And congratulations to Chuck Parker.
Yeah, congratulations, Chuck.
He'll be in class. Maybe Alfredo will join us sometime.
Maybe.
Yes. All right. See you later, Alfredo. Thank you so much. Be well. And again, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.